Phill. He blames his mother-in-law.
Did you tell your daughter not to put his name on a birth certificate?
For destroying his family.
You're lying right here on TV.
You know what? You're the liar.
I'm getting ready to turn a whole bunch of you into Child Protective Services.
Plus, he's had affairs.
Because you get an adrenaline rush.
But no time for his wife.
He made time every single day for 8 weeks to sleep with my friend.
How's your adrenaline running right now? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've hurt long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phill.
Wilson, take
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
In 5, 4,
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Go, Dr. Phill.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Hey. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, Joey says all of his dreams came true the day he and his wife, Amanda, started a family. But his world shattered when the mother of his child almost didn't include him on the birth certificate. Things got even worse when Amanda took their daughter, walked out the door, and filed a protection order against him just 6 months after saying "I do." And who does Joey blame for destroying his marriage? Himself? Not hardly. His mother-in-law, Mina, who he says treats him like the scum of the earth. Take a look.
Well, the first time our family was introduced to Joey, he said, "Hi, my name is Joey. I'm never wrong."
My mother-in-law, Mina, was very judgmental towards me.
She just didn't like him.
Joey is a very hostile, volatile, and disagreeable person.
My mother-in-law, Mina, is controlling, mean, and spiteful person.
When Amanda's cousin got married, at the wedding reception, he was yelling and screaming obscenities at Amanda. And I said to her, if he's mean to you, and you can break up with him right now, cut your losses.
We started fighting a lot after I found out I was pregnant. My mom told me not to put Joey's name on the birth certificate until we were married.
He reacted very poorly when Amanda told him. He became very hostile towards me. How dare you say something like that?
Once my mother-in-law, Mina, started pressuring Amanda into leaving my name off of the birth certificate, I knew that we were not going to get along.
The big turning point was when he pushed me against the counter. I knew at that point that I was definitely unsafe around him.
First words out of her mouth is, "I can't believe you pushed me. You pushed me."
I called the police and I left with the clothes that my daughter and I had on our back.
That was her breaking point.
That was her proof that she could take to her family and say that I was a violent person.
My daughter's marriage is over, and I blame it on Joey.
Well, Amanda says her estranged husband, Joey, needs to stop blaming her mother, Mina, for destroying their marriage.
I have been told by Joey that he thinks that I'm crazy and that he thinks that I'm controlling and that he thinks that I am doing all of these things with malicious intent.
I believe my mother-in-law, Mina, is about 90% responsible for all of our marital problems.
My daughter had a protective order issued because Joey is violent and unstable. He has sent me text messages that say that he was going to come to my house and this and that and the other.
I have sent some pretty nasty texts to her. She submitted a lot of these texts to court, but then she deletes out all of her text messages back to me. She turns it into a one-sided conversation. My mother-in-law, Mina, bragged about how she worked so hard to keep the birth of my son from me. He existed in the world for a whole week and I didn't know anything about him.
To me, being a dad is a lot more than just being able to inseminate someone. The question that I have for Dr. Phill is, am I just crazy? Because if there's something I'm not seeing in this situation that I need to be seeing, then I need to have it pointed out to me.
Okay, you think that there is a possibility that you're over-involved here?
I'm open to any possibility at this point because clearly what we've been doing legally and whatnot is not working. Parent time's not working. Child support's not working.
Because you forced your way in on our relationship. You forced your way in on the relationship between me and my children.
Into our relationship, Joey.
She requested that the court put her in between me and my children.
I requested.
So she can be in control.
No, I requested.
You requested
that she do that.
so that she could be in control, so that she could keep my kids from me, so that she could make me chase it down, and then promise that, oh, I'm doing everything I can to accommodate you.
I asked her to do it because I can't deal with you. Because you are unpredictable and you are out of control.
Why do you need your mother involved at all?
My mom was my support system, and she was the one who offered me to do the parent time and help out with that.
When you have a protective order in place, it means that those two can't talk at all. So someone else had to do parent time.
Okay, well, what's your ownership in this?
He has none.
I've wanted to be a daddy my entire life.
But why did you say that you think she trapped you by getting pregnant?
Because she claimed that she believed she was pregnant once. And even though I was nervous about it, I was so excited to have a kid. At the time, I didn't even care who it was with. I was just so excited. I'm having a baby.
You say she's 90% of the reason that this marriage is caved in. 90% of the reason. And I ask you, what's your ownership? And you said, I just wanted to be a daddy. I just wanted to be a daddy. So you think you have zero ownership in this?
No, absolutely not. I believe that we
got
did fight a lot.
90% here. Is the 10% divided between you two?
I would say that, yes.
And then what part of that 10 would be you?
I'm a vocal person. I'm a very passionate person. I like to say what I think a lot.
Well, let me ask you about that. Did you wind up in contempt of court for failure to return her personal property and failure to comply with a protective order?
I did end up with a contempt of court charge because of it, but at the same time, yeah, but at the same time, she had come and picked up her property already. I don't have any of her property.
Have you yelled and thrown things at her while she was pregnant?
I have never thrown anything. But
yes, I have. Did you throw a baby mobile at her?
No, I haven't thrown anything at her ever.
During a fight?
I believe I have.
Did you kick the car during a fight? The police were called?
No, there would have been the police weren't called because there wasn't any evidence. There's no police report.
Did you push her into a counter when she was 8 weeks pregnant?
We tripped over each other, and yes, I did back her into a counter, yes.
Did you lose your temper in court to the point that they almost arrested you in the courtroom?
Yes, because Amanda started claiming that I left her for another woman and was just throwing out some just flat out lies against me, and I didn't have a chance to even speak in that court. I was told to sit down.
Have you so they weren't being fair to you?
No, they have not been fair.
Talk.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, did you call her a bitch?
I have called Amanda that in my life,
did you call her the word?
Amanda, no.
Oh, did you reserve that?
Yes.
Are you paying your child support?
I have actually tried to pay my child support back in July. I gave Mina a check, and she basically didn't deposit it, so I haven't tried to pay it yet. I now have something set up with the government so I can actually prove that I'm paying child support from here on out. Yes.
So the answer is no. You're not paying child support.
No, but I have tried. I have made an effort.
How you try to pay child support? They won't take the money?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. I gave her a check.
No, you did not.
And all you have to do is not deposit a check.
I would have deposited it and helped pay.
I don't believe that you even know the extent of what this woman has done.
I don't believe that you know the extent of what you've done.
I know exactly.
Did you get in a fight with Amanda at her cousin's wedding?
Yes, I did.
Did you hit her?
No, I've never hit Amanda.
Did you punch her?
Ever? No, never.
Did you scream, call her a bitch?
We were both screaming at each other. I can't remember what was said, but I've never hit her. I've never threatened her. Never tried to hurt her in any way, shape, or form.
All right, Amanda and Joey's custody issues continued to play out here in Los Angeles after they flew in to appear on the show. We'll talk about that when we come back.
September 4th was to be parent time. He showed up at my door. Joey Lou, of course, runs straight to her daddy.
I picked her up, threw her on my hip, and took off.
I'm like, where are you taking her? So I called the police. My worst nightmare is that harm would come to my grandchildren. Amanda called and she was crying. She was hysterical. She was bawling on the phone saying Joey had thrown the baby's mobile across the room at her. She was scared to death. She was terrified. I told Amanda, this is abusive. This is just going to get worse.
That was Mina talking about her son-in-law's violent outburst. Now, Mina says dealing with Joey's parent time is always a fight. She says she's just tired of all of his antics. But Joey
Just show up
says
when you're supposed to
his
be there.
mother-in-law
Be home,
is
answer
just
phone calls.
plotting to take away his children. Take a look.
My worst nightmare is that harm would come to my grandchildren.
Mina has worked very hard to make sure that every single visit I have with either of my children is in her home. You know, she wants to pick a fight every single time we get together.
September 4th was to be parent time, and he showed up at my door an hour earlier than typical. And Joey Lou, of course, runs straight to her daddy. She's excited to see him. He picks her up, says blank to me.
Mina had told me that I'm not allowed to take her out of the house. So I just went ahead and picked her up, threw her on my hip, and took off.
I'm like, where are you taking her? And when are you coming back with her? He won't answer me, so I called the police.
A couple of cop cars tried to stop me because I guess Mina told them I was trying to kidnap my daughter.
I really don't like at all the way that he's handling his responsibilities as a parent and handling these parent time exchanges, but I'm not in charge of him.
Not anymore, you're not.
I never was in charge of you, Joey.
You really tried.
Okay, I asked him what percentage of this he had. He said 90% of the reason my marriage is caving in is my mother-in-law. At least 10% divide between the two of you. He said these are all just misunderstandings. He's trying to pay his child support. He didn't. Do you work?
So I work 6 days a week. I pay for everything for my children.
I've offered to take care of childcare, and you won't even tell me where she goes. I don't even get to know where she's at in daycare.
Do you
because
work?
you're violent.
Yes. I work full time.
You work full time. Have you always?
I mean, I have always worked full time. I've had some time where I didn't work. Yes.
Did he criticize you for working so much?
Yeah, he got upset.
Well, it seems like you were working like sometimes
Around the
11
clock.
hours a day, and he wasn't working, but he was criticizing you for working so much.
Yeah.
That's what you told
Because
us.
he wanted me to come home. He also wanted me to come home and cook and clean and do everything
You've
else
never
for
cooked
him.
or cleaned in our entire relationship. You've never cleaned a single thing. In fact, you
That's
stored
interesting.
dirty diapers under our daughter's playpen.
That's
because I
interesting.
kept asking you to throw them out, and you would leave them in the bed. You leave them on furniture,
Oh,
and then you
okay.
started hiding them under the playpen because you
Yeah.
refused to clean anything.
Yes, because
Yes.
that's what I wanted to happen.
So
that
what happened
playpen.
once you guys got here?
Well, Saturday night, my stepdad, Donald, called Joey to ask him where to do parent time, and he said, I asked you not to talk to me.
Which I have done. I
So-
filed a police report asking the
I
police
decided to
call
take
if
it
they
upon
not- haven't
myself
not
and figure it
contacted
out, and it was a 3.5-hour battle to get you to tell me where you wanted to do parent time. Instead of
Because-
just saying, yes, I'd love to do parent time, Amanda, here's where I'd like you to drop our son off.
Because you're required by law to let me know if you're taking our kids out of state. I had made arrangements to have
My
son
lawyer
picked
tried
up.
to contact you. You didn't respond.
I was supposed to receive an itinerary. I was supposed to receive contact information. And
Okay,
I have
well,
no
I could
idea
have left
if our
our
daughter-
son
where
home.
our-
I
I
could
still
have
have
left
no
our-
idea where our
I
daughter
could have
is.
left
I
our
still have
son
no
home
idea.
and been in contempt of court for not giving you your parent time, and you would have thrown that in my face.
I had
so I
made
brought our
arrangements
son. I
to get
fought
picked
to
up at
bring
the
our
police
son.
station. You wanted to meet me on the street.
Well,
somewhere.
here's the
Okay.
there's actually a text record of all of this. Amanda wrote this text to Joey. The bottom line is, do you want to see our son? Me, you, my mom, Donald, and everyone at Dr. Phill knows you are here. If you do want to see him, my mom and I will meet you so you can have your parent time. Joey to Amanda. The bottom line is that I have made arrangements with my family to pick him up where and when we agreed. The bottom line is you broke the law. So Amanda says, okay, fine. Don't see your son tomorrow. Just remember this was your choice. Let me know no later than 10 a.m. tomorrow morning if you change your mind so we can make arrangements to meet. To which Joey responds, you don't get to threaten me. The court order doesn't give you the power to take my son out of state and make demands like this. Does he harass you when you're out with friends?
When we were together, he would call
That's
me
what I'm talking
all the
about.
time to find out when I was going to be home, why I wasn't home, why I didn't want to spend time with our family, why I would rather be with my friends than with him.
Actually, the conversation was, if you're going to be late coming home from work, can you at least let me know when you're getting home so I know when I should start worrying?
How many times would you ask that question in, say, 2 hours?
It would be once every time she would not show up. She would not. I never called her while
home.
she was
The only
out.
time I ever went to.
What do you call harassment if you were out with friends?
Asking what my
I mean, would he call you a lot?
Would
he text you a lot?
He called me and texted me the whole time I was with them until I finally gave up and just came home.
Like how many times?
Probably a good 10 times.
How many times did you respond?
2-hour period.
And you're lying right here on TV. You're going to lie. You have a history of lying.
No, you know what? You're the liar, and you keep trying to accuse everybody else of being the liar.
I've never harassed anyone.
Joey, you're the only one who doesn't take any responsibility for anything that happened in our relationship.
That say that Amanda claimed that she left me because I was an abusive drug addict. I passed the drug test. There's a history of separation where Amanda says she left me. We were in court.
Right.
Then she started claiming that I left her for another woman. That was a lie.
Okay,
that was a lie.
Stop. That was an interruption and a misunderstanding between me and my boyfriend.
I left you for another woman was a misunderstanding? That's a huge deal. That's a lie to make me look like a monster.
The attorney misunderstood his notes and made a misspeech.
Well, Mina's husband, Donald, has been watching the show and live tweeting. He has a lot to say. We'll hear from him next. Plus, Joey has a new roommate who moved in this last weekend. I don't know who that is, but we'll find out.
Joey, you threw a mobile at me when our daughter was a month old. You threw our daughter's mobile at me when we were a month old.
I tried to take our daughter.
You are a violent person.
Joey was becoming more and more aggressive and hostile towards Amanda when he would come to pick Joey Lou up at our home. So right now we're doing parent time exchanges at a police station so that it won't be such a battlefield.
Well, Joey claims that he wants to divorce his mother-in-law, Mina, who he feels has conspired with his estranged wife, Amanda, to take away his children. All right, Mina says Joey's antics during parenting time have gotten so bad that it is giving her distress. Now, Mina's husband, Donald, has been watching the show from home and tweeting up a storm about what he has heard today. The first one he has up is Joey has two sides. One is a consummate actor. Then he said, they fought almost continuously from the first day we met him. Then he said, his antics are indicative of his personality. Scary.
What we fought about was her.
No, what we fought about was you and me, and you're unwilling to take responsibility for that.
What did we fight about? What was our fights about?
Money. Not having a job.
We didn't fight about that.
Oh, we did, Joey.
We fought about her.
No.
Because you were so upset that I didn't like your mom. That's what we fought about most of the time.
Yeah, and you had no reason to not like my mom.
Did you tell your daughter not to put his name on a birth certificate?
She came to me after a really bad fight with her and Joey, and here's exactly what I said. She was upset. It had been a terrible, terrible argument. She was newly pregnant, and I said to her, there are other ways to handle this, Amanda. You don't have to get married to him. You can break it off now. You can cut your losses. You can have the baby, not put the baby's any information on the birth certificate.
You asked her to claim that she didn't know who the dad was.
Just put nothing on the birth certificate. And there are ways in the state of Utah that if he wants to be the parent, he can take care of that.
But commonsensically, is that reasonable? Is it fair? I mean, this is the father of that child.
He was already being so violent and so hostile towards her.
Where's the police reports that say I'm violent?
We have the police reports, Dr. Phill.
You admitted in the police report that you pushed me, Joey.
I will say that I did admit that. I ended up admitting it in court because my lawyer said, don't fight the police report.
And then you're going to try and say no?
I tripped over us.
That's interesting.
We tripped over each other. And that's what happened. And I had to go with it because the cop says yes.
Because you admitted it in the police report.
But he did say there was no domestic violence. Otherwise, I would have went to jail. And then you got one instance in all of this stuff where you're claiming that I'm violent, throwing things, I'm hurting people.
Joey, you threw a mobile at me when our daughter was a month old.
Thing that
you threw our daughter's mobile at me when we were a month old.
I tried to take our daughter.
You are a violent person.
Okay, who's your new roommate?
My girlfriend.
His second
girlfriend since November.
Does that make me a villain?
Well, you're still divorced.
Because I left somebody who was not a good person.
Still not divorced?
What do you care who he's dating as long as it's not your daughter?
Yeah.
Well, here's the only problem. He has the 2-year-old call her mommy.
My 2-year-old calls her. Her name is. That's what my 2-year-old calls her. She called her mom because my girlfriend had a teenage daughter that called her mom. And one thing about Joey, if you know anything about her, she likes to be big. So she hung out with that teenager and she wanted to do everything that teenager did. That wasn't my plan. I just didn't fight it because it made her feel big. She never called her mommy. She called her mom. Amanda was mommy. I made sure that there was a distinction so that she knew who mommy was.
Except for when we were talking on the phone, you'd be like, oh, you want to come with mommy and daddy?
Never, ever in my life have I ever called her mommy. Anywhere, anytime, ever.
I want to know what would have to happen here to make you happy and peaceful about this situation. Joey and Amanda both say they want to learn how to co-parent their children as a team. So we'll see if something can happen to put the anger and game playing aside long enough to give their child a chance. We'll be right back.
Little girl loves the park. I took her to the park and we had a blast. So I went and dropped her off at home, and Mina has now submitted an affidavit to the court implying that I had done something with my daughter, and it mentions there is sand that was sticking to her bottom near her rectum.
I've never said that Joey sexually molested Joey Lou.
Quote on
Well,
that?
Joey and Amanda have 2 children. They're 2.5 and 4 months old. Joey says he is fed up with all of the false accusations that his mother-in-law keeps making, from molestation claims to not paying child support. But Mina says she is fed up with his antics and just wants him to be civil. Is there anybody here that is implying, insinuating, or otherwise suggesting that he is molesting his daughter?
No.
No, and it's never been said.
That's never been said.
I just got a
It's
public
a lie.
record here on national television, of which you will have a DVD, where they acknowledge you are not doing anything inappropriate with your daughter in that regard. Don't argue with a good outcome. Listen, I'm getting ready to turn a whole bunch of you into Child Protective Services if you don't behave yourself. I'm going to say this to y'all one time, and you're either going to hear me or you're not, and understand when you choose the behavior, you choose the consequences. You are hurt and you're angry, so you're being jerky towards these people. I'm not saying you are a jerk, you are behaving in a jerky fashion. Y'all are very hostile and defensive, supposedly on behalf of the children, against this monstrous human being over here. So instead of being mature adults that sit down and say, you know what, this was a bad decision for us to get married. The only good thing that came out of it are 2 beautiful, precious children. We don't have to like each other. We don't have to see each other. We can spend whatever money it takes to do this through a court-appointed intermediary. But if that's what you need to do to get through right now, then that's what you need to do. You are an adult. Deal with the father of your children.
Right.
She's here to support you. And I think you are well-intended and mean the best for your daughter and for these children. I don't question that. But you two don't get along, so disengage. But you are going to have these 2 children in common for the rest of your lives. Mm-hmm. When you are ready to act like adults instead of hurt teenagers, then you can learn to co-parent. I will make those resources available to the 2 of you if and when you say, I can maturely engage in this and put my feelings aside. Next, we're going to talk to a couple ripped apart by infidelity and the extremes this wife is making her husband go through to prove he is no longer cheating. We'll be right back.
2 weeks before we got married, I had an affair.
When I was pregnant with my son, I was put on complete bed rest.
While she was gone, I ended up having an affair.
And I just remember being on the sidewalk and falling to my knees and screaming.
Well, my next guest, Matt, says that he is addicted to the adrenaline rush he gets from cheating. Now, he has admitted to 3 different affairs. One while his then pregnant wife, Ashley, was in the hospital with a life-threatening condition. Take a look.
Ashley and I met when we were 18.
My first impression of Matt was that he was the ladies' man. A year into dating, we got engaged, and we got married 9 months later.
2 weeks before we got married, I had an affair because I was stressed out.
I confronted both of them about it, and they both denied it.
After she had found out, she was very upset.
When I was pregnant with my son, I was put on complete bed rest for 6 weeks.
While she was gone, I ended up having an affair.
I found out about that affair from text messages on Matt's phone. And I just remember being on the sidewalk and falling to my knees and screaming.
I felt really bad.
Matt's most recent affair was with my friend.
Third affair happened when I got a text message that was not meant to come to me. We started texting back and forth, ended up having an affair.
I keep tabs on him constantly.
I can't account for time that I'm not at work, then it's like I'm out cheating.
I am starting to feel that he actually is doing it to intentionally hurt me.
Wow. You think he's doing what to intentionally hurt you?
Having these affairs.
Okay.
I mean, he's choosing people that I have a history with, that I know, that I love.
And you say that you have had 3 affairs.
Correct.
You think more.
Oh, yeah.
And you think longer than what he said.
For one of them,
For
yes,
one of them,
I believe
okay.
it went on longer.
And you say you're doing this because you get an adrenaline rush from it.
That's the only thing I can come up with as to why I'm doing it.
One encounter was when we were at her house for a family picnic, and there was an encounter of the 2 of them in the bathroom, and I actually came in the house, and she had to hide in the shower. And afterward, he told her how much fun that was and what a rush it was because he loves close calls.
How's your adrenaline running right now? The first affair was 2 weeks before your wedding.
Yes.
Your second affair was a 6-week affair with a friend while she was in the hospital on bed rest. The third affair was 8 weeks with another friend. Right? Okay. Now, she thinks you've had more affairs, have you?
No.
Why would she believe you?
She has no reason to believe me. I've never given her a reason up until now to believe me.
He's still not giving me a reason to believe him. All he does is get mad that I don't believe him and that I'm suspicious of him because he thinks all he has to do is say, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, and everything's fine.
Yeah, so you said, I wrote down a quote you said because I thought it was particularly focused on what I wanted to talk to you about. It says, quote, "It's impossible to go out of my way every day and reassure my wife I'm not doing something wrong." So you basically think that this is just too much trouble. She's overreacting. She just needs to get over this.
No, I don't think that she just needs to get over it. It's just there's times during my day I don't have time to drop everything I'm doing.
But you know what? He made time to drop everything he was doing every single day for 8 weeks to sleep with my friend. He found the time for that.
What do you want from him?
I want him to stop thinking that he can solve all of our problems with his words. I want him to back it up.
In what way?
I don't even know. That's why I'm here, because I'm so
it's hard to prove
damaged.
that you're not doing something.
Exactly. And that's what I've told him. I said, you need to prove to me that I'm the only one for you and that you love me and that you don't want anybody else, and you're not doing that. He is putting his job first. He admits he puts his job first. He will drop everything we are doing together as a couple, as a family, and deal with something from work that could wait until he goes to work tomorrow.
So you're not feeling valued.
Absolutely not.
You're not feeling a priority.
Oh, no, never.
You're not feeling loved,
Never.
attended to,
Never.
cared for,
No.
nurtured, courted.
No.
You're just kind of there. Do you love her?
I do. I love her a lot.
Were you in love with her when she was in the hospital on bed rest having your baby and you were out having an affair with somebody else?
Yes.
You loved her then?
Yes. I have always loved her, even through the things that I've done.
Even though after that affair, he tells me now that he doesn't remember being sorry.
Just how much has Matt's cheating affected Ashley? Well, you're going to be surprised. We'll be right back. Matt says it's been constant accusations, mistrust, and fighting since he was caught cheating. Not for the first time, not for the second time, but for the third time, just 18 months ago. He says he's tired of having to go out of his way every day to prove to his wife, Ashley, that he is not doing something wrong. So what would you like for her to do?
Eventually, to be able to trust me again. Like, to show to her that I do love her and I do want to be with her forever.
But he just wants it to happen. He literally brought me a Starbucks one day when he came home from work and used it for 3 weeks. He said, but I brought you Starbucks the other day. Doesn't that count for something? Oh, I'm sorry, you slept with my friend for 8 weeks, so you have 8 weeks worth of Starbucks to bring me.
She makes a point.
Yeah.
If I tell him, I don't feel like you're going out of your way for me, I don't feel like you love me, and that's what, but I brought you Starbucks.
What do you need to do?
I need to get myself some help. My health, my emotions, my mind, everything is gone. At this point, I can't look at him and say that I love him.
Do you understand that you're the one that ran this off in the ditch?
Correct, yes.
So if you run a car off in the ditch, isn't it kind of your job to get it back up on the road?
Yes. It is my...
And if you ran it off into like not one ditch, but a second ditch and then a third ditch, so you're like 3 ditches off the road here. And so you don't go out there and tow it back up on the road for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or an hour or 2 hours. You do it until it's back up on the road, right? You ran it off.
Yes.
You get it back on. And you need to be asking what it is she needs from you.
I guess one of the things that she asked me to do is to call her or text her while I'm at work. And there's times where, and she'll say that I needed to text her and I didn't have time to. Like there's days where my boss shows up and we walk my store. And if she calls and I run late after work, she'll be, well, why didn't you let me know that you were going to be late?
You need to let her know where you are and what you're doing. It's just that simple. Just let her know where you are and what you're doing. And in case you haven't noticed, 1, she is the mother of your children, and 2, she is way cute. So you need to really work on this. Okay? Now let me talk to you about what you need to do. This has really gotten to you.
Oh, yeah.
Your stomach's a mess. Like
All the time.
irritable bowel to that point. You're having trouble sleeping. You're saying your face is breaking out. You're having flashbacks. I mean, you're describing PTSD, right?
Yes.
That this was a big
I'm
trauma.
actually having flashbacks of things I didn't see, but details. I was told
Right.
about his affair with my friend in very vivid detail.
Right, and you're playing that out
Yes.
in your head. My point is, regardless of what he does or doesn't do, you have lost yourself in this.
Oh, yeah.
And you are a mother.
Yes.
So your children don't have all of who you are. You have to take care of yourself here. Matt says he's been faithful for 18 months and he wants Ashley to stop accusing him and move on. Well, I've said I think there's a whole lot more to it than that. So is she going to be able to do that? She's going to be able to take care of herself. I'm going to tell you what I think next. Okay, now we've been talking about what your symptoms are here. Clearly, symptoms are something that typically are in reaction to something, either an infection, an illness, a trauma, an event, or whatever, you're having symptoms of anxiety, right?
Yes.
You're feeling apprehensive.
All the time.
True. Are you feeling powerless?
Oh, yeah.
I can't change this. You're having a sense of impending danger or panic or doom sometimes. Increased heart rate, breathing rapidly, sweating, trembling, feeling weak or tired. I mean, these are all symptoms of anxiety. You understand that, right?
Yes.
And that affects the way you are as a wife, as a mother,
A friend,
just
a
as a
sister,
person.
a daughter. It's affected every single part of my life.
It affected every part of you. Now, the only person you can control is you. You can't control him. You have to take care of yourself. Because this has gotten to the point that it's gotten a grip on you. And you have to consider PTSD is an issue here. Dreams and nightmares, you say you're having those. Intrusive recollections, some of them you even fabricate.
Yep.
Reliving the trauma as illusions, hallucinations, or dissociative flashbacks that you come up with. Intense psychological distress if there's exposure to cues. Something that brings it all back to you. You have this psychological reaction to those cues. You might avoid thought, feeling, or conversations about it on the one hand and then can't turn it loose the next. You may avoid activities, places, or people because you just kind of want to curl up and get in that fetal position because you feel detached. You can be irritable or aggressive, right?
Yes.
And you deserve every bit of it. So you've got symptoms in both of those things. And the first thing we have to do is get you under control right now in the short term, because this is gaining momentum, right?
Yes.
So you acutely, you're in a conflict here. You guys need some help as a couple. I'm going to make arrangements for that. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. We will get you the help that you need. I want to thank all of my guests today. Thanks so much for being here. So long. Saying her son Kenny was hospitalized after suffering a near-fatal breakdown. And Kim, well, she was nowhere to be found. With her 5 grandchildren in need, Thelma rushed to their side, but she says what she found left her speechless.
My ex-daughter-in-law, Kim, is a wicked, evil, horrible person. Kim has totally destroyed my son and the grandkids' lives. When we went to the house to pack up the belongings, the odor was so bad. I had to wear a mask when I entered the home. It was disgusting. I saw piles of laundry, animal feces everywhere. All the walls were filthy. All the doorknobs were sticky. I felt it was my responsibility and duty to step up as a parent, and the big mama bear came out in me, and I knew exactly what I had to do. Kim does not deserve these beautiful children. I hate what she has done to my son and my grandchildren. If Kim was sitting in front of me right now, I would say, you need to stay out of my grandchildren's life and my son's.
Thelma was awarded emergency temporary custody of her grandchildren, and that's when she said she discovered what was really going on behind closed doors.
Once I got custody, I heard so many disturbing things from my grandchildren. They told me that she would spend all day in her room and never come out. Kim was on drugs. She would walk around the house naked. And one of the children told me, Mama, you forgot your clothes. And she squatted down and peed right there in the hall. The kids also told me their mother would come in and wake them up around 11 or 12 o'clock at night and tell them that dinner is ready. I was told that she would bring other men into the house, and I could only assume that it was drugs and sex. When I heard all these stories from my grandchildren, my heart just ached. I felt like, what kind of an animal is raising my kids, my grandkids?
You believe that everything you're saying there was going on behind closed doors. These children were being subjected to this.
Yes. When I received custody, the kids told me such bizarre stories that it was unbelievable. My heart just ached. I didn't know what to do.
you're saying that this mother was walking around naked in front of her children, peeing in the hallway, just being totally neglectful, not feeding them, not doing anything.
This is what they have told me.
You say she is an unfit mother, she doesn't deserve these children, that she is a horrible excuse for a parent.
Yes.
Kim is here. She says Thelma is flat out lying and is on a crusade. Not just a concerned grandma, she is on a crusade to ruin her.
My mother-in-law is spreading lies about me, my children, and her own son. She wants to eliminate me from my family's life completely. Thelma tells my kids I'm a bitch, I'm evil, I'm a whore, I'm Satan's spawn. It's been about a year since Thelma took the children from me. Thelma had gone to a judge, told him that I had abandoned my children. I didn't abandon my children. I was struggling with addiction. This is the only way that I have to see my kids. Looking at the pictures that Kenny posts. I miss everything. Birthdays, holidays. I honestly think Thelma's sole purpose is to ruin me. I think that if I were to die, she would probably do a happy dance on my grave. She's a disgusting woman. She pisses me off, and I hate her. I hate her with every ounce of my being.
Well, Thelma and Kim haven't been face to face in over a year, but Kim is here now, so I'm going to ask her to join us, and let's just talk this through. Kim, Dr. Phill.
Dr. Phill.
Have a seat. You know Thelma. You've not seen her for over a year, correct?
Correct.
She has, I actually wrote down some of the things she said. That you are a horrible person. She says that you are deceitful, that you are abusive, that you are neglectful. Just to begin, what's the truth here?
Nothing that came out of her mouth. To walk around naked and pee on the floor, wow. You really went far with that one.
Everything that I have heard came from your kids' mouth.
You're such a liar.
She has custody of your children, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, your ex-husband wound up in a hospital with what lay people typically refer to as a nervous breakdown. Where were you?
Oh,
Where were you?
I went to the house. Kirsten came out of the room and said, Dad just texted me and told me if you show up that you need to leave, otherwise the police are going to be called.
Well, here's the custody paperwork, because we got this. This is an order for emergency shelter care and temporary custody. Reasonable cause existed to take minor children into protective custody. Due to homelessness, the parent's hospitalization, and the mother's apparent abandonment. Division unable to locate minor children's mother, mother not being personally present in court, mother must provide a drug-free urine sample prior to any visitation, in the care of Thelma, in the children's best interest. So did you not show up at court?
I was not told about any court. It was a private court. Thelma
There's no private court.
Oh, no, there is.
You have the right to be there. The observation was you failed to show up.
I was not. Okay, I contacted Thelma 3 times. I didn't know about the hearing until after. When
Why
Kenny
were you calling her?
To find out what was going on with the kids. She had told my other children not to answer the phone.
You knew the address.
And I tried stopping by. No one was there.
That was in Kim's
Did you have sex with a 17-year-old friend
Nope.
of one of your children?
No. And he was 18, and it was after our divorce. And it was after we were divorced and everything else. My kids were not involved in any of that until Thelma brought it into it.
So the boy was 18.
He was 18.
It was one of your children's friends.
No, I did not know he was one of my children's friends.
Let's take a break here. Next, Kim's 2 oldest children say their mother is evil, cruel, and twisted, and has completely robbed them of their childhood. We'll be right back.
I became known as the girl that mom slept with younger boys. My mom is cruel, she's twisted, and she is evil. My mom is a terrible mother. My mom is a pathological liar. She's manipulative and she's extremely selfish. I feel my mother abandoned me. My mom was an in and out mom. She was there and then she would leave and go party with her friends. My mom is cruel. She's twisted and she is evil. Growing up, my mom was a bully. She was mean and she was extremely scary and someone you wouldn't want to be around. When she was angry, she'd grab our arms and she would shake us and she would push us and she would hit us. One of my mom's favorite sayings to us is, "Are you deaf, dumb, or just plain stupid?" My mom cheated on my dad throughout their marriage. My mom had sex with a 17-year-old coworker of mine. My mom sent him dirty pictures and messages and he showed me them while I was at work. I became known as the girl that mom slept with younger boys. Right now, I see my mom as an acquaintance. She's not really a mother figure. She's just someone that has been in my life. I'm pissed off that she abandons us and comes on this show and acts like she's a saint when she's left 6 kids at home to be raised by my dad. I feel like my mom robbed all my siblings and me of my childhood.
Well, Kirsten, I'm glad to meet you. You use very harsh terms talking about your mother. You said evil, twisted, liar. You're saying that it is true, that she did have sex. How does that come up in conversation? Oh, by the way.
He flat told me, "I've been sleeping with your mom." And I just sat there and I was like, "You're what?" Then he went on to tell me, and this lasted about an hour, that he just told me every single detail. And then he told me that he was 17, not 18.
And he showed you the pictures? Mm-hmm. So you saw them with your own eyes?
I did.
And it was your mother?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you deny this?
I never sent him pictures. Texts and stuff like that, yeah. But you know.
Were the pictures taken?
There was never pictures taken.
She saw the pictures. Are you saying that she's lying?
No, I think that he was lying.
What, was it your mother?
I just saw breasts and down. I couldn't see her face, but he told me it was her.
And you did have sex with him?
Yes.
There was a lady that came over to our house and almost killed me because you were sleeping with her husband. She almost
No, I wasn't.
She slammed me up against the door and thought I was Kim. And she showed up to Kevin's house with a gun. Okay. I almost died because of it.
Kirsten, I'm going to tell you right now, I had no idea that any of that was going on. And I was not sleeping with her husband or anything else. I wasn't doing that.
You left in October. We had no money. What did you do to our food stamps? We had no money.
I know, Kirsten.
You know what we did for my birthday cake? We put sugar in the pot and put water in the pot. And that's what we did for a birthday cake and icing. And it was awful, but we didn't have any money to go buy a cake.
No, Kirsten,
I didn't have any money to get anything for my birthday. It was fine, but you left a week before my birthday.
Okay, Kirsten.
She sold the food stamps for drugs.
Do you remember leaving these kids in the car for hours while you would go and do drugs?
No, I didn't ever do that. One thing that I told my kids was that I can't take back anything that I did. I can only make from what I do better.
And you can't change what you don't acknowledge. And you've got this girl sitting in front of you now, making the effort to tell you what's in her mind and what's in her heart. And you insult her by trivializing it. Is that what you want to do with her?
No.
What do you think about all of this?
There is 6 kids without a mom, and I'm 18 and I'm taking care of the kids.
Well, joining us via Polycom is Kim's oldest son, Kevin, who says he is so done with his mother, he wouldn't even attend her funeral. Kevin, I'll turn it over to you.
You don't even know your grandkids because you cannot stay away from everything that makes you evil.
Kevin.
You can't tell me that this is brainwashing from Grandma because I haven't talked to her in a year.
Kevin, you don't let me see the grandkids when I'm down. I would stop.
Because you're on drugs.
I was sober, Kevin. I've been sober since last March.
Really? Explain the drugs I found in my garage when you helped me move.
Kevin, I've been sober since last March.
But you also left in October, a week before my birthday, for drugs.
Your dad.
And no, wait. I cleaned up your drugs in your room.
Your dad kicked me out, and I was on drugs, Kier.
But that wasn't a year ago. That wasn't 11 months ago. That was in October, and it was before that. I'm the one that cleaned up your drugs.
I was on drugs, Kier. That's why your dad threw me out.
Let's take a break. So where was Kirsten and Kevin's father while all of this was going on? He's here, and he says not only did he have no control over his ex-wife, he says she nearly killed him.
She has cheated on Kenny so many times I could not give a number, but yet he takes her back.
It's hard seeing my dad go through so much.
And later,
When I was growing up, I knew that my mom was doing drugs. She told us she had cancer so she can do more drugs. One night she was serving dinner and she passed out and we all thought that she was dead. Growing up, my mom made my dad seem like he was incapable. She would completely embarrass him and humiliate him in front of not only us, but friends too. She would call him dumb and she would say that you're not a man.
When Kenny and Kim got married, I knew they were in for trouble. Every time she gave birth, she left for long periods of time. When she got pregnant with Kirsten, she was intimate with other men. A DNA test was done on Kirsten to see if she was Kenny's baby.
The first time I ever saw my dad cry was when he was getting a divorce. It upsets me that my dad tries so hard and she turns around and stabs him in the back. It's hard seeing my dad go through so much.
She has cheated on Kenny so many times I could not give a number, but yet he takes her back. I don't understand my son to allow a woman like her back into his life for what? More abuse? I don't think there's a bone in her body that gives a hoot about my son.
well, before we add him to this conversation, let's hear what he has to say about his ex-wife and mother of his 6 children.
Kim's the only girl that I've ever been with. I lost my virginity to her. I think that I will always have feelings for her, but I am upset with her for what she's done to the family. When we were married, she would take off and leave, oftentimes with a newborn baby in the home. I had a good career. Kim really ruined my name in the industry. One time she asked me to take out her trash can, and as I was dumping it, I saw a note in there, and it was from another guy, and it said something to the effect of, "I see you laying naked on the bed, and you're so beautiful," and that was painful. She probably cheated 1,000 times easily. One time she pocket dialed me and answered hello, 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 and I could tell that she was in the middle of having sex with somebody. She got pregnant with another man. I knew I wasn't the dad. I told her that, "Kim, I don't think that I can be a good father to this child," and that the baby was placed for adoption. She made fun of our son that has a speech impediment. She would call him a retard. She would say stuff like, "Duh, duh, duh, can't understand you." I stayed with her because I loved her. I stayed with her because I wanted to keep our family together. I was willing to sacrifice, and I think I went too far.
Is he wrong too?
Okay, Kim?
What'd you say?
I asked her if she was okay.
You asked her if she was okay? What was it that landed you in the hospital?
I'd been suffering from psychosis for over a month.
And for you, this was a major depression, a depressive psychosis, right?
Right. I wasn't eating, wasn't drinking, lost
Right.
a lot of weight. Couldn't sleep at night, just the thoughts would just race. It was horrible.
And where was Kim at that time?
Kim was in the area, but she wasn't with the kids. We had been texting. She knew that I was having troubles.
Were you surprised that she didn't come to help and support you and see after the children?
I was surprised. I badly needed her there. I was waiting for 24 hours about for her to show up. I'd been asking her to come.
And it was during this 2 weeks that you moved for emergency hearing, got custody of the children and removed them
Yes.
out of state to where you were?
Yes, and Kenny was life flighted out of state, and we happened to be there. We were visiting, And so we went directly to the hospital.
And you think he wound up in the hospital because of Kim?
Oh, yes.
And what was it that she had done to him?
The drug abuse, the lying, the cheating, the going out with other men.
Well, you would badmouth him to anybody you could. You still do to this day.
Why would I want to do that? He's my own son.
Yeah, you tell me.
Yeah, you
We've
tell
been
me.
asking
Why
that
would I want to
years,
do that?
Thelma.
Why would I want to ruin him like you did?
My grandma is going around town branding us as damaged kids and telling people that we're the meth babies. My siblings and I don't really like our grandmother. My grandma makes me mad right now because she will do anything she can to ruin our reputation and my dad's credibility. My grandma is going around town branding us as damaged kids and telling people that we're the meth babies. She's going over the top on some stories and twists them. I was miserable when she got custody of my siblings. I feel like my grandma doesn't approve of my mom and never has, but the fact that my parents still talk, she obsesses over. My grandma's goal is to completely get rid of my mom. My siblings and I don't really like our grandmother.
You saw it as an opportunity to move in so that way you could get your son and the kids out there. That's all you did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All these promises.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I really am.
Holy that's the first time I've actually heard that come out of your mouth.
I felt like, oh, well, this is a great opportunity for me to stay.
That's it, period. Great opportunity.
Great opportunity. Can I finish? I am talking.
I don't
It's
care.
a great opportunity for me to stay in the motel with the kids because I didn't want to stay in your filthy house.
You sold everything else in the house. What you didn't sell, you threw out down the stairs everything that we had worked so hard for.
Kirsten, you were there.
No.
What did I do?
This
Everything
is
got
not
thrown
between
away.
Kirsten. This is coming from everybody.
Well, it is
This
true.
is coming from
Kirsten was
everybody.
the one that was in charge of what needed to go and what stayed.
I wasn't
I
in
knew
charge.
nothing about
How
your
old is
boys.
she?
Can we pause? Everything got thrown away. There was no order. There was no anything. Everything just got thrown away. I don't know
wasn't
who
in the
said it,
house.
but it was just said, throw everything away. So we lost everything. We lost our clothing. We lost our TV. We watched our TV fly down the stairs.
The TV already had a hole in it.
No, it just had a little crack in the corner. But it was the only TV that we had. We worked hard for everything that we got. We didn't get handed anything. And even if we begged, where were you?
Where was I?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to dish out the money all the time? Is that what I am?
wasn't always what we needed,
I'm
Mama.
only good when there's money involved, and I stopped dishing it out years ago.
What? For love. For a grandma. For nurturing. Where were you?
Where were you?
You were just there to badmouth me. You're right, Kirsten. Does that make you happy, Thelma?
It has nothing to do with grandma.
What is it that you want to happen now?
I don't think their grandma should have anything, it should be allowed to have anything to do with them.
You have how many children staying with you now?
Kenny has all of the children now.
So you have none staying with you
I
now?
have none.
Okay, so they're not staying with her now, is my point.
Right.
So you're saying you don't think they should be with her? They're
Or
not
around
with her.
her.
So they're not with her.
No, I think they need to be with their dad.
Okay, so you're good with the arrangement?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just want her out of their life.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break. I want to hear from Dad here. And I think the question that you raise is Thelma's hatred for her ex-daughter-in-law actually harming her grandchildren? We're going to talk about that after the break here.
It wasn't enough for Thelma to tell the town, her friends, a judge, a caseworker, that I'm just some woman who had kids and I don't want them. I think that's why she wrote into Dr. Phil's show, is to try to convince everybody that I don't love my kids, that my kids don't want me, and she's gonna play the sob story and for me, look at what all the horrible, rotten things I've done. Her agenda is to completely have me eliminated out of my kids' life.
Kenny, I'm curious at this point what you think the current situation is and what you think it needs to be, do you think the children could and should have a relationship with Kim?
I think they should. I think they should. They need their mom.
Do you think that your mother should have a role in your children's lives?
I think that she should. She should just be a grandma and bake them cookies and be happy to see them and that sort of thing.
You know, I think it's clear that you have a very strong and powerful disdain for this woman. Would you agree with that?
I would agree, yes.
Yeah. And that's not likely to change, right?
No, not with her track record.
Ever since you first met me, you didn't like me.
Yeah. And I think it's fair that you have a disdain for this woman, right?
I think it's pretty clear that.
Yeah, and that's probably
can't
not
stand
going to
her.
change. And you know, the good news is that you two don't have to be in each other's space, but you do have some common elements here. And I agreed to do this show for one reason, and one reason only, and that is that there are some children that are caught in the crossfire here. And I always like to come in and try to get everybody to adopt an agenda that's in the best interest of those that maybe don't have as good a voice. And, you know, Kevin and Kirsten are old enough to have a voice, and they're old enough to make the choice and move away. And it seems to me that both of them have survived and turned out to be pretty nice young folks, despite a lot of what they've been through.
Yes.
But we do have some young people that are still pretty impressionable here. And I can tell you that you don't have to like her. You don't have to hold her in any positive regard whatsoever. But she will forever be the biological mother of these children. And if you assassinate her character, however deserved you may think it is, to those children, you are doing them a grave disservice. And if you assassinate the character of those children's biological mother, it will come back to haunt you in ways that you have yet to see. Because those children, the day will come when they will resent you for that, regardless of how much she may or may not deserve that. And I'm just telling you that you need to learn to bite your tongue. Just simply take the high road. There's so much less traffic up there. Just take the high road.
I've done that.
And
at first I was shocked.
I do, but just take the high ground here, and it's so much more becoming to you to do that. What I would say to you is you're the leader of this family, and you need to father those children. And to the extent that she positions herself in a way that she can be a healthy factor in those children's lives, then I would certainly support that. But do not be an enabler. Do not be blind and allow her to be in those children's lives. Parent is a noun and a verb. It's not just something you are by birthright, it is something you do, and you do it in a responsible fashion. And if she relapses into drugs, if she is bitter, if she is angry, if she is in denial, if she fails to recognize her responsibilities and does not respond to these children in a proper way, then you have to put very strict boundaries there. If she's living in motel rooms, if she says, I'm going to show up, and she doesn't show up, she has to become a citizen, a contributing citizen first, and become a mother second. If she doesn't have a job and pay her own way and show up and become a responsible contributing member of society, it's going to be a very difficult time to be a responsible parent. And it is your job, Well, however much you may love her and have a broken heart with her or whatever, your primary responsibility, your undivided loyalty is to those minor children. Okay? And to the extent that you can broker a relationship, a healthy relationship between them and their mother, by all means do that. Learn to co-parent with her. But you cannot, when there are things like a woman throwing her up against the wall, was there a gun in her purse or not? You know, the fact that those words are even in sentences involving one of your children is exclusionary criteria for her being in the life of your children. That kind of rhetoric must be excluded from conversations about mother and child. And until they are, she's not a candidate for being in their lives. So you need to make sure that's true. Okay? And you need some help in coming up with a co-parenting plan, and I will get you the help to do that. Someone that will monitor that and make sure that that happens in a healthy way.
Okay.
Okay? I will. That's just my gift to y'all to do that. I want you in your children's lives as a responsible mother, but not as an irresponsible. You agree with that, right? You agree with that. All right. Coming up, a guest who says her body should be donated to science because she just doesn't sleep. We'll meet her after the break. My next guest, Carrie, says she's lucky if she gets more than 4 hours of sleep a night, and it's not because she's burning the candle at both ends. In fact, she says she is desperate to get more sleep because her marriage and sanity are going downhill fast.
I think I'm a freak of nature because I do not sleep.
Dang it.
What person does not sleep? I started having trouble sleeping after the birth of my son in 2008. He was premature and he spent 9 weeks in NICU. So my son did come home. I had anxiety because I was so scared something was going to happen to him on my watch. My son was diagnosed with Crohn's disease last year. Now I don't sleep because anything can happen in the middle of the night.
Another night.
My brain never goes into sleep mode. It's always on. I toss and turn all night. The slightest noise will wake me up. I usually get anywhere from 2 to 4 hours sleep a night. And I've gained a lot of weight since I've stopped sleeping. I put on 100 pounds. Every morning I wake up with a headache. I'm angry and irritable all the time. My husband and I do not sleep in the same bed because any movement he makes will wake me up. Insomnia is destroying my marriage. I feel terrible that I'm putting my family through this. I don't like the person insomnia has created, and I do not want to share my bed with it anymore.
Oh! Well, Carrie is here, and also joining us is our longtime good friend, Dr. Frieda Lewis Hall, Chief Medical Officer of Pfizer. So welcome. Glad you're here. So how did you sleep last night?
Really?
Yeah.
Hardly at all.
Not good.
Insomnia, but plus the excitement, and yeah, not at all.
From a medical standpoint, Doc, how often does this happen?
So Carrie is really not alone. I mean, sleep trouble is very common. Long-standing, not just occasional, sleep disorders. Nearly 45 million Americans suffer.
45 million?
45 million Americans. So insomnia is one of the most common forms of sleep disorder here in the United States in particular. So what is that? So insomnia is simply stated a difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, or the combination of those two things. In order for it to be chronic insomnia, then a person has to experience that 3 nights a week for at least 3 months. So it sounds like this might be what Carrie is experiencing, but she needs to see her doctor for a diagnosis to see what it is. And of course, we should talk about that in a minute.
Okay, so how did you sleep before your son was born? Because you said you had issues and then hospitalization and all. How did you sleep before that?
Like a teenager, I could sleep from 9 to 10 hours. I enjoyed my sleep.
So you clearly have an onset trigger. You know
Yes, sir.
That's what started that.
Yes, that's when all this started.
Loss of sleep can happen for a whole host of reasons. Sometimes people know exactly why, and some people they don't know why, and there are a whole range of causes. Everything from stress and anxiety, as you've described, to things like thyroid conditions or Certain medications may cause this. In addition to that, common things that we do, we may not think affect our sleep, like overuse of stimulants, nicotine and caffeine. And then to add on top of that, there are other conditions that can cause loss of sleep, like sleep apnea is another example. And this, as you know, occurs frequently in people who are either overweight or who are obese.
And being a caregiver is clearly stressful, and you know, you had those issues early on, and now with Crohn's disease.
Yes, sir.
So you watch that. But look, if you love your child, and you know you do,
Yes,
and we
I do.
know you do, then you have to take care of your child's mother.
And that's what scares me the most, because if I don't get rest, if I don't get sleep, I'm not going to be at 100%.
Well, no, and you can't give away what you don't have. If you're the only mother your child's ever going to have, and so you have to take the time and realize it's not selfish to take care of you, because you don't want to be emotionally bankrupt, you don't want to be physically bankrupt, and you have to be willing to ask for help, whether it's for other people to help out, or support groups, or babysitters, or family members. You've got to be willing to ask for help.
Yeah, and I'd like to add on another really good reason to pay attention to sleep loss. So, you know, we know that there are a lot of things that happen, and Carrie, you mentioned some, you've just mentioned a few others. Feeling bad the next day, or over time just not being sharp, being less alert and able to deal with things, emotionally bankrupt and physically as well. But that it doesn't stop there. So chronic sleep loss or lack of sleep over periods of time actually contribute to very serious medical conditions and can be life-threatening. So it's been linked to diabetes and heart disease. There was a recent study that actually found that adults who get less than 6 hours of sleep a night, 6 hours of sleep a night, over time have a 4 times greater risk of having a stroke. So this is a real health risk beyond the day-to-day risk that you carry. So it's especially important to take this seriously. Talk to your healthcare provider to get a diagnosis. Your healthcare provider may refer you to a sleep specialist to help figure out what is going on. And the good news is that most sleep disorders actually can have effective treatment. There's psychological, behavioral, and/or medical treatments that can be effective in treating sleep disorders. So there's a lot to know about them. This is a very complex area. And of course, for more information on good sleep habits and information and resources for sleep disorders, you can visit gethealthystayhealthy.com.
Interesting, I had a friend that was having this kind of problem recently, and I sent him to gethealthystayhealthy.com, and you guys have a great action list there. There's like 10 points there, and he went through the 10-point list, and it talks about he talked about don't take naps late in the day, really want to hurt you. I just want to bash your face in. Our story will be on the 6 o'clock news, and I'm going to make your murder look like suicide. Now, Marie says that since all of this started, her husband has dragged her down a flight of stairs, has had the cops called on him at least 14 times, and last month she says he smashed her on the side of the head, and she has proof. Take a look.
In the past year, Ron has said to me that he's wanted to smack me.
You're a terrible mother. I'm a terrible mother, really.
Ron says that we're going to be on the 6 o'clock news. What is he planning in his head?
Don't lie.
I'm begging you to please. I don't want to turn.
You're lying.
Let's just turn these things off and go night.
You're lying.
We were in an argument. He asked me to turn on the recorder to my camera, and he wanted me to record the whole thing.
What do you want? Do it. Do what you want, Marie. Call the cops, punch my face in.
Are
what
you
do you
serious?
Want?
I'm not going
Watch
to
what her
punch
face looks like as she
anybody.
hears.
The fight started to progress.
I gotta call somebody, man. Come on. This is gonna get me mad.
And then Ron came at me.
Give me my phone. Give me my phone right now.
He grabbed the phone from me, hit me on side of the head.
Give me my phone. Just stop that. Give me my phone.
In my head, I was thinking, I can't believe you just did that to me.
You just attacked me. I did not. Yes, you did. It's on the phone. It's on video.
And then again, he turned around and started to come after me.
Get out of here! Oh! No! 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 Get out of here! Get out of here!
I don't know what he was going to do to me.
No! No!
I was afraid for my life.
Marie says that things are so bad that this past weekend, Ron wrote the word kill on the bathroom mirror, and she says it scared her to death.
I'm not interested in your phone, hon. Okay. Whatever you're going in your phone.
Okay.
Why don't you go upstairs and go to bed with your daughter, hon?
Because that's what I need to do.
I saw the word kill written on my mirror. I was horrified.
Like you wrote kill on the mirror.
Huh?
Just nobody else wrote kill on the mirror.
Your daughter's upstairs going to bed. Yeah. I'm just waking up at 4:30, babe.
I put my
I'm 4
hand
hours
up to it.
before work to wake up. Get upstairs.
I tried to talk to him about it, and he went into a rage.
Shut up. She's not sleeping.
Yeah.
You want your kid? Go away.
You hit those cameras.
Hey,
You're being
please, go away. I
You'll
woke up at 4:30. I just went to bed with you. I didn't touch your phone. Kill, you're nuts. I want my first cup of coffee. Go away from me.
I'm not nuts.
Go away.
I stayed up all night with Stella on my lap to make sure she was okay and to make sure that he wasn't going to do anything to us.
Call 911. If there's kill and I touched your phone, please call 911.
No.
Please, Marie. Please call it again. Make it 16 times.
I'm terrified of being locked in the house with him.
Get away from me. I just woke up. I don't want to wake up 4 hours and with you.
We put cameras in your home, right?
Yes.
To see what happens in the natural flow of things.
Yes.
And what we've seen is a high degree of volatility.
Yes.
Are you afraid?
Yeah, terrified.
What do you think's going to happen? What's the downside here?
That I'm going to be another missing wife.
You think he can kill you?
Absolutely.
Has he said so?
Yes.
What did he tell you about it?
He told me that that we're going to be the next story on the 6 o'clock news. He's going to bash my face in. He doesn't know what he's going to do to me. I need to stop bothering him.
You say he has attacked you. He has punched you.
Yes.
You say that he's called you names.
Yes.
What does he call you?
He's called me everything. He's called me fat, disgusting, ugly, lazy, a slut, a whore.
He was trying to tell you on the tape, leave me alone, go away, just get away from me. Mm-hmm. But you didn't. Why?
I just wanted to talk to him.
Well, so where is Ron? After completing his sit-down interview, our field crew reported that Ron appeared happy and calm. But just a short time later, he apparently had a major mood swing and declared he was done with the marriage, was no longer doing the show. Take a look.
Everything seemed to be going really well yesterday, but it seems like right after the field shoot was done, Ron no longer wanted to be a part of the show. I got Ron on the phone myself. He was completely irrational. It was a Jekyll and Hyde situation. So at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, 2 nights before my show, Ron threw a tantrum that completely killed the show. The flight that we were getting Marie and Della on was leaving New York around 6 o'clock. Ron just stood on the front lawn and watched his daughter and his wife take off for Los Angeles. So now it's the day before the show. Ron is still MIA. He's not returning any calls.
Sorry to miss your call. If you leave your name and your number, I'll get right back to you. Thank you.
Hey Ron, it's Corinda.
And Marie and Della are landing in Los Angeles.
We just got off the plane. Ron decided the last minute not to come. Ron was giving the Dr. Phill staff a hard time, yelling at them. He wouldn't let them get a word in edgewise. I can't live with this instability for me or my daughter. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Don't quite understand what's going on.
So he didn't come. He leaves you and your daughter to come. Mm-hmm. Well, I have a relentless staff. They have been concerned about this whole family. And the good news is, after much machinations, we did get him here.
Okay.
And so... Ron, Dr. Phill, how are you, sir?
Pleasure to meet you, Dr. Phill.
Have a seat. Well, you're here, but you weren't coming. Why did you have such a change in your mind and demeanor and decide not to come to the show?
That's a great question, Dr. Phill. And the last thing I'd like to do is not meet you and see the beautiful state of California with my camera. I love that. But since November 11th, when this barrage of this particular adventure started with the Dr. Phill show, is the last 60 days of our life, I knew the whole premise of coming out here is built upon fiction. So when it hit me and they told me the details, I'm like, you know, our daughter has not gotten attention from us in 60 days. The house is a mess. She loves talking on the phone 24 hours, not sleeping. I have to go to work, still clean, still cook, do the dishes, come home smiling, go out of the house smiling. I like my 5 hours of sleep. From midnight to 5 is all I require. The rest is how I serve my family. I clean my home, I go to work, I help people, I come home, I got groceries in my hand. You know, there's going to be 2 Maries that I'm going to be able to talk about. There's the loving, most beautiful, caring Marie in the world, and there's the most bitter, ticking time bomb that everybody that knows Marie and loves Marie loves her, but they got to say, Marie, I love you, but I got to stay a hand's distance away. Nobody comes around her.
I just asked you why you changed your mind.
Sir? And again, I apologize.
Why did you change your mind? You said you were going to come. You said you were going to do all this.
It's really hitting me.
And then
we're here
an hour
now.
later, I mean, seriously, an
Because
hour
it's
later.
based on lies, Dr. Phill. As I talk to your producers, it's almost like there's a...
Why'd you change your mind?
Dr. Phill, this is a lie why we're here.
Why did you change your mind?
When you hear the things I have to say about the person I love the most in life, I don't want to be here, Dr. Phill. Wait till you hear what I have to say.
I am going to get Ron to answer my question. What happened between 3 and 4 o'clock? Right after the break.
I'm an abused husband. Do you know what that means, Dr. Phill? I get my face bashed in every day. You people are laughing. My home is a mess.
And later, your daughter picks up the tab for you coming in here and covering your ass.
You're right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. What a farce.
Okay, what happened between 3 p.m. on Saturday and 4 p.m. on Saturday when you went?
I'm an abused husband. Do you know what that means, Dr. Phill? I get my face bashed in every day.
Okay.
Okay?
Did that happen between 3 and 4?
No, it didn't.
What happened between 3 and 4 that you changed your mind?
I'm dealing with a lunatic, okay?
Answer the question.
What? I'm going to come here and say these bad things about my wife on TV.
I don't know why you came. You said no. Now why are you here?
Because I was going to have 3 days of peace. To be, okay, yeah, no.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, I got the answer.
No. Time out. You know, listen.
You can ridicule me. You can ridicule me for being...
Come on, you can be a victim later. I'm just asking you...
The victim is sitting there, Phill.
I am just asking you a simple question. I have made no accusation against you. You have no idea where I come down on this. And
I know where you come down. If we were reversed...
No, you don't. Do not presuppose. Let me tell you something.
I watch your show every day, Dr. Phill, and I live with her. This is fictitious.
Thank you for watching. Seriously.
You try to make a fool out of me, Dr. Phill. I'm coming. The only way I told Marie, I would never go. If I was accused of this, I wouldn't even come.
Okay.
No way.
Let me ask you
I would
something.
not come here if I didn't feel like this is the complete opposite. At least give me that much weight.
Let me ask you something here. How does me asking you
why I didn't come,
what caused you to change your mind between 3 and 4, how does that mutate into me making a fool out of you?
Well, your audience is laughing. You're not giving me a chance to
They're laughing
speak.
because you are making a fool out of you.
I'm comfortable.
Because you're simply not being responsive. I'm just asking you a simple, Ron.
Once we get to the meat and potatoes, and she has nothing to stand on.
We would so be into the meat and potatoes if you were not filibustering and failing to answer a question. We would already be into all of that.
But you just pulled me from the front lines hours ago. I came from the war, post-traumatic stress disorder. You people are laughing. My home is a mess. A mess.
All right, take a deep breath here. Let me explain something to you. I got one goal here.
Yes.
Let's
get past that one answer, Dr. Phill. My God, she seen kill on the mirror.
Ron, I have one goal here.
Protect my 4-year-old daughter.
And that is to try.
Don't make my relationship work, Dr. Will. I want my daughter protected. She's got psychotherapy this long, not taking medications, getting drunk, punching me in the face. The cops come. Marie, there's no assault on there, but twice they take her. Who do I got to keep saying it to? I went to CPS. I went to domestic violence. I'm coming to you. Now I'm here again like this. I'm like this, Dr. Phill. Everybody knows me in life. I'm not like this, dude.
Eye contact.
I know.
Okay, listen to me. I have one goal here.
Yes, what is that?
Thank you. I want to calm this situation down because
I don't want to get like that.
We have, in my opinion, a child growing up in a highly toxic situation.
And as of right now, she's a perfect kid.
I want that toxic situation to improve or be defused or get her out of it. So I ask you, why did you change your mind and decide you didn't want to come? Was it something she said? Was it something you thought?
My neighbor
Did you just have a shift in opinion?
My neighbor came over. I wasn't going to answer. I was going to have 3 days of peace in my home, clean this house. So when she come home, she'd have a clean house, and I was leaving.
Then
I was
why
going to my
bother to
mother's.
do the interview with us if you weren't going to come?
Because I don't want to do that, Dr. Phill.
You want to do what?
Hold on now. Hold on. Let's go slow, all right? Now I came. My neighbor came this morning. It's Ron, why don't you go? There's no way Marie's ever going to get help if you don't go. And then what's Della left with?
Okay, so you don't know what changed your mind. Did you ever intend to come?
You don't know what changed my mind. I know what changed my mind.
Okay, tell me what it is. Just give me 2 sentences about why you changed.
Della.
Okay.
My daughter.
Okay,
she's going to come home.
Between 3 and 4,
change.
something happened about Della.
I don't even know about 3 and 4, dude. This is from November 11th when I called CPS on her. The barrage of emails. Did you see all the stuff I sent you, Dr. Phill? I don't know if you had. I brought it with me.
If you sent it, I've seen it. I got a notebook about 250 pages thick. I get it. Between 3 and 4, nothing particularly happened. You just had a change of opinion. Change of heart.
I changed of heart.
All right, we're going to take a break.
I had a change of heart.
Gotcha. Next, Ron says Marie is not the victim, that he is the victim, and he is fed up with her insane accusations. We'll talk about that when we come back.
This is the last time she found the camera. You see it's all busted, the porcelain with the tape?
Oh, yeah.
She took the camera.
You did to me?
See this camera right here? I had a different one. She put it on here and beat it with a hammer.
What about the time you broke all my snow globes?
Hon, please.
What about the time you dropped all my snow globes?
They're going
right
to say
there
that
in
we're
front of
acting...
Ella? You wanted to start...
Food card! You want me to talk like that when you say, give me the food card?
Anything will set Ron off.
This is where we start getting crazy. You're making...
Wait, no! He punches things. His hands bleed.
Yeah, you want your...
There's definitely something wrong with these rages. One time I tried to joke with him about a lighter, and he grabbed me by my shirt and pulled me down the stairs. And in order for me to get away from him, I had to bite him. I had to call the police. Another time in the middle of the night, Ron was snoring, and I just touched him to let him know. He got up so mad, and he popped me with like 3 fingers like that, and made me start to think like, God, there's something really wrong here.
Forget it!
That looks very awful.
Yeah, you should see it.
And that's just in the last 60 days when she got the camera phone.
Yeah, you should see it through a child's eyes. Changes who they are. Changes who they are. And for you guys to be doing that and doing it in front of this child or with her in the next room, whatever, shame on both of you. He says, and these are my words summarizing him, that you are overdramatic, melodramatic, and don't know when to walk away. And as a result, it just goes on and on and on and on. Fair summary?
Yes, sir.
What do you say about that? I mean, even before he got out here, I asked you, God, it seemed like he asked you 10 times to just walk away, and you just rah, 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 rah. Do you not know what you're doing? Do you not know that that's escalating things?
I guess I never realized it. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it's escalating things for me to actually stay there.
And you say it doesn't take much to set him off. I thought I got a pretty good example of that when I asked you why you changed your mind, and 20 minutes later.
I'm passionate, but I'm never physical, Dr. Phill, ever. Never once touched her, never called her anything fat, ugly. She's beautiful. Everything she says is a lie. Unfortunately, as I observed her for 8 years, she doesn't know she's lying. She can't help it.
Did you write kill on the mirror?
I did not write kill on the mirror, Dr. Phill. I have a blanket and pillow in the trunk of my car, and I didn't come home that night, Dr. Phill. I slept on the barbershop floor. I wasn't coming home when she said she's seen the word kill on it.
Tell me the truth. Who put that on the mirror?
Tell her the truth.
He put it there.
When did he put it there? He said he wasn't home.
He was home that whole day we were taping. The video cameras were in the house.
And he wrote kill on the mirror.
Yes. Yes, he did.
Somebody is lying.
Yes, sir. This is my life for 8 years. That's why I'm like this.
Somebody is lying about this.
She's cold, cool, calm, and collective. That's scary.
And what that means to me, if somebody's lying here, is that there are 3 agendas. There's your agenda, and then the family daughter agenda, and it's coming in third, because one of you is lying. And your daughter picks up the tab for you coming in here and covering your ass. Now, I want somebody to tell me the truth. You two think about that. When we come back, Ron says Marie's physically attacked him repeatedly, spit in his face, and was once arrested for being intoxicated. Plus, we'll hear from Marie's Aunt Robin. We're going to find out why Ron's rage literally left her shaking when we come back.
Please, don't discount me. You already beat me all the time. Don't discredit me.
I don't beat you. Stop
all
lying.
7 years, I was your slave
Stop
of
lying
love.
to yourself.
It's just been 8 years of talking to like insanity.
Keep punching my face in.
We're at an end.
I will divorce you before anything gets in the way of me and my daughter.
Your anger's gonna get in the way.
It's not.
We're in an 8-year movie here. The movie started the day I met her, and it's continuing the second.
Oh, look at me. I'm shaking apart. I'm a lunatic. Are you gonna keep calling the police and being angry and punching my face in? I clean, I shop.
No.
I rub your feet.
I begged you. You rub my feet.
Please,
when I was
don't
pregnant.
discount me. You already beat me all the time. Don't discredit me.
I don't beat you. Stop
all
lying.
7 years, I was your slave
Stop
of
lying
love.
to yourself.
Now,
well, no, your perception is your reality.
Babe, let Dr. Phill be the judge.
I get irate because it's just been 8 years of talking to like insanity.
You went up to my face, Ron. You went directly up to my face to face, and you said, "Go ahead, you whore. Go ahead, punch me."
She's not well, so I give her the benefit of the doubt while being a punching bag. We're at an end.
Okay, look,
I don't think domestic violence is a platform for laughter, because if some of you women are doing domestic violence, it's not funny.
Crawl down off your high horse, buddy. Come on. They're laughing at the ridiculousness of the antics. They don't think it's funny, and to suggest that they do is inappropriate.
If this was reversed, you guys would be crying for her. Oh my God, Dr. Phil. Unbelievable.
Listen, you've got a know-it-all, sanctimonious attitude. How's that working for you in your marriage?
Sir, just remember.
How is it working for you in your marriage? Then why don't you do something different? You're here to get some help. So I think you could quit commentating on the audience and focus on the problem you've got. Because I'm going to tell you, somebody's going to tell me the truth here, and this situation is going to change, or I'm reporting this to CPS, and you got a serious problem. Okay.
Just so you know, I went to CPS on November 11th.
All right, you're
That's
right.
just 2 months ago.
You're right.
You're right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. What a farce. What a farce. Until you see the truth. I'm not lying. The stuff is so crazy in my home, if I tell you people, you're going to laugh. But if we put a lie detector on it, then there's no doubt about it. Come on, Doc, get the lie detector and put us on. Because these guys, you're going to think I'm lying. And she's sitting there like,
We're not having an election here.
But, I mean, what can we do? You're going to say,
think.
we're going to sit here until someone tells the truth. The man that is losing his voice and his demeanor, heart beating through his chest, I beg her, please, getting that look from Dr. Phill. Let's get the lie detector here. It's the only way. I'm not going to change my story. It's the truth. Do you have a lie detector test? You're looking for the person telling the truth. You're staring at him. She's lying. I'm abused and telling the truth. She's been doing this for 30 years.
Marie's
I'm just
Aunt
the
Robin
last 8 years
says
stop.
Ron is a rageaholic who abuses drugs, has attacked his wife Marie, and buys alcohol for his wife to get her in the mood. Let's hear what she has to say.
Ron decided to tell me she doesn't cook, that she doesn't clean, that she doesn't do anything right. She doesn't act like a wife should act. And I told him, Ron, you can go and, buy something at the grocery store. And he said to me, now I know why OJ killed Ron Goldman and Nicole Simpson. He's telling me that he's going to kill me. I thought that he was threatening me, telling me I better stay my distance. I believe he has real rage issues and that he was threatening my life.
Well, joining us now via Polycom is Aunt Robin. Did, in fact, you say to Robin, now I know why O.J. Simpson killed the people?
Not at all, Dr. Phill. Not at all.
Yes, you did. Don't lie. And I tell you, I am afraid of him.
Well, you're not. This isn't
I'm her
the only
husband's
person we
barber.
talked to. We also talked to Ron's neighbor, Scott. Now, he's a private investigator, and he says, look, I've been around, and the innocent one in this situation is Ron. Take a look at what he had to say.
About a year ago, my wife, my 3-year-old, and myself moved next door to Ron and Marie. Ron and Marie's daughter, Della, and my daughter are great friends. Having access to certain things as a private investigator, I was able to check out backgrounds. Ron has never lied to me. He's always been very forthcoming with anything in his past. Marie would get angry at least 2 to 3 times a week. On one occasion, I heard ridiculous, vile language coming from the backyard. Marie was on the phone screaming. Every other word was profanity. Ron told me that Marie sometimes suffers from rage. Marie has claimed that Ron is a drug addict, an abuser. Marie has also claimed that Ron has wanted to murder her at one time. All of these accusations are ridiculous.
So, 2 very different characterizations. Marie says it's heartbreaking when her 4-year-old daughter yells, "Don't fight," or "Stop yelling," in the middle of one of her screaming matches with Ron. Plus, Marie's medication and alcohol intake has raised a really big red flag for me. We'll be right back.
Ron makes Stella cry all the time.
It's okay.
She told me that she doesn't think that he loves me.
What did you just say? Who doesn't like me?
Ron told Child Protective Services that I have a violent temper.
That's why I called CPS, because you break things, you hit me.
And that he didn't feel safe with me being home alone with Della. He makes Della cry all the time.
It's okay. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, hon.
He tells Della to leave Mommy alone. She told me that she doesn't think that he loves me.
What did you just say? Who doesn't like me?
And she was sitting on the floor. She was kind of shy about it.
I'm so sorry, honey. You know he loves you, right?
Well, that, I'm telling you, shame on both of you for getting involved in that and putting her through it. And I'm going to tell you, this doesn't just upset a child for the day, it changes who they are because it threatens their base of operations. They're wondering if everything is going to fall apart. Now, something happened on the home cam that I would like to discuss with Marie. Take a look at this.
Did you drink last night or no? Did you throw those away?
I did dump them. They're outside.
Okay, because there was
I
3
dumped
bottles
them.
of whiskey
I dumped
here.
them.
It's not a question if we're going to get divorced. It's a question if Dr. Phill says you're safe enough to continue to be your mother with your daughter. Trust me.
Okay. Now, Ron says that you take a combination of Celexa and Klonopin, and then you drink whiskey. Listen, I'm worried about this mix of pills and alcohol, and I wanted a physician to address that concern with you.
Okay.
Now, one of our resources here at the Dr. Phill Show is Doctor on Demand, which is a new app we created that allows you to talk to a doctor virtually instantly.
Okay.
So I want to do that right now. Okay, doctor, it's Dr. Phill. How are you, sir?
Hi, this is Dr. Ian Tong. Hi, Dr. Phill. How are you?
Dr. Tong, thank you. Marie is taking Celexa and Klonopin, and on more than rare occasions is drinking whiskey on top of that. I think that is dangerous. I think it creates a problem, but I want you to talk with her directly about that. So I'm going to let you hold that phone just anywhere around there.
Hi, Marie. This is Dr. Tong from Doctor on Demand. That medication actually has what's called a depressing effect on the central nervous system. What that depressing effect does is it actually can slow down your heart rate. It can also slow down your respiratory rate. When you add alcohol, you really magnify the effect of the Klonopin. So you're actually making it even a stronger dose. And so you're further depressing your respiratory rate and your heart rate. When you do this, you really run the risk of losing consciousness. When you add alcohol to that, you're really taking a huge risk by combining those drugs along with the alcohol.
It can even result in death, correct?
That's true, absolutely. You can suppress the respiratory drive and heart rate enough that it becomes a life-threatening problem. Absolutely.
All right, Dr. Tong, I want to thank you so much. We use Doctor on Demand with our guest here, but everybody can use it at home. You can get the app. You go to Google Play or the App Store, you download it, you put in your information, you can be talking to a board-certified physician in a matter of seconds. We love it here at the Dr. Phill Show. Next, Marie says that she suffered greatly at the hands of her now-deceased stepfather. She went days without food or water, was held hostage in a room for days, and she says she's witnessed the aftermath of a heinous murder when she was 8. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how her past is impacting her now in the present. We'll be right back.
I hope so. I certainly do.
Because I'm sure you
I
heard
will
it.
swear to God and take a...
You swear to God a lot.
I do.
Yeah.
I will take a lie detector test on that too.
Oh my gosh, I want Dr. Phil to
I will
lie.
take a lie detector test on that.
Because I don't think you're lying. You are telling the truth to yourself. So I bet you everything that I know is a lie, you will pass with flying colors. Because I don't think you know the difference.
It's not that simple. It's not that simple.
Are you going to keep calling the police and being angry and
Are you
biting me, punching my face in? I'm domestic violence, Marie.
No, you're
Dr.
not.
Phil McGraw's going
No,
to say,
you're
Marie,
not.
he's going to say, be quiet. You are in domestic. This man should have
You
locked
keep
up.
on interrupting me.
Well,
if you think so.
Yeah, I'm going to stand on it.
Okay.
I'm going to bet my life on it.
Okay. Well,
If
see what he
Dr.
makes
Phil
of it.
doesn't say I'm in a domestic violence relationship, Ron.
We both are. We both are.
I want to know what's really going on here.
Right now.
What is it that you are so upset about?
I'm so upset because he never listens to me anymore.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Go ahead.
I feel like I've lost my best friend.
Right.
I feel like I'm not looking at the same person that I used to look at.
What do you want? Tell me, if you could write the script for this marriage going forward, tell me what it would be.
In a perfect world, we'd both get the help.
I'm sorry?
In a perfect world, we'd both get the help that we need.
Right.
Because I know I'm not perfect.
But what would your marriage be like? I mean, every day, just you
every
come
day.
in, go in, you come home.
Not have
What happens?
Not have to worry what kind of mood he's going to be in. And being happy that Daddy came home from work and that Daddy didn't have to go outside and get high in order to be able to see his little girl. And for Ron to be Ron again.
I ask you what the script was going forward. What would be the wonderful world for you?
That would be the best.
And in that, you subtly took 5 or 6 cheap shots at him.
I'm so sorry.
Okay?
I'm so sorry.
Because, what you'd expect if somebody was going to answer that, you go, oh my gosh, we would be happy, we would be best friends again, we would support one another, we would share about our thoughts and feelings and our day, we would take pride in watching this little girl blossom and be wonderful. That's what I would expect would be a healthy response.
No.
Instead, I heard, that he would come home and not be in a bad mood and wouldn't go outside and smoke dope and yell in front of the daughter and not. And I thought, let's just bitch slap him a few more times while we're talking about this.
No, I don't want to do that.
But that's the way I'm telling you how you're thinking about this. So now a question for you. What do you need to change to spark a difference in this relationship?
Dr. Phill, I like being her best friend, and I want to continue it. The best way that we can get to that again.
What do you need to change?
There's 2 major things I need help with. One, mostly, I smoke so much. Cigarettes, weed. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I don't drink alcohol one bit. I stopped going to meetings in the last almost 8 years. I need to get back to meetings to become more common. Quit smoking and getting back to meetings. I want to sit down with my daughter and my wife and feel good. The other thing, if I could just, Dr. Phill, one thing. Friends, if we were friends, we do good things for each other. Then I'm looking back in the last 8 years, cops, break stuff, punch my face, and I'm like, what kind of friend are you? I can't be your friend. I have no friends like you. No one hits me, no one calls the cops. Oh, I'll be your friend, but my gosh, that comes with a price. I don't want that.
Strange as it may seem, I have a plan for this family, and I'm going to tell them what it is when we come back. Let me tell you, in all the time that I've been working with people, you two may have perhaps the worst communication skills of any two people I've ever met on the stage at one time. Okay? Now, but I've only had about 12,000 guests, so it's not a big sample, but you two don't know how to communicate. A, you both talk at the same time. B, if you're not talking at the same time, the split second he stops talking, you start. You're not that smart. That means while he was talking, you were thinking about what you were going to say next instead of listening to what he was saying. Yes. And you don't even wait till they're through talking. You just start talking and having a conversation with yourself. And you can't understand why the two of you can't problem solve. You can't problem solve because you're not problem solvers. You're problem creators. And both of you need to calm down. Just calm down. Honest to God, you just need to calm down. I tell you what I want to do. I want to get a specialist to come in, my gift to y'all,
Thank you.
a specialist to come in and teach you how to communicate. I want to help y'all with that. Will you do that? If I arrange that,
Yeah.
will you do that?
I'm more than willing.
And we're gonna show you how to relax and calm down together. We're gonna actually do some meditation together, some relaxation together, and then teach you how to communicate. And I think the silence is going to be deafening. I think your daughter's going to go, oh wow, I got my mom and dad back.
I want her to feel that again.
So will you take this help?
Yes.
Will you take this help?
Absolutely, yes. There's a psychological factor. There's a marriage counseling factor. Myself going to AA and quitting smoking, but it's a combination.
No, I want to help you with that too.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to help you with
all the above.
We're going to help
It's
you with
definitely
the smoking
a piece
right
of the
away.
puzzle. Yes. I got the patches. I know the theory, but I'm not going to leave here and stop smoking.
No, I didn't ask you to do that. Just so you leave. We're going to work on this. I want to thank my guests today. And I want to thank myself for hanging in